The Canadian population is struggling, but that's due to the inaccessibility of information. See, I've bought 150 properties with none of my own money. It sounds absolutely crazy, I know, but these strategies and tricks are going to put you on another level when it comes to building your wealth, because it did for me. And now I travel often, take care of my family, and keep getting wealthier because of the tips I'm going to share right now. These 4 methods are homeowners, home renters, investors, and developers. Anybody can use this, whether you have $1 million or you have $0. But before I start, please absolutely obliterate that like button, hit the subscribe button, because I make videos based on your likes and comments, so hit it up, Fruitful Squad. All right, let's get into it. Alright, so get this. In parts of Manitoba, a province in Canada, if you had no idea, I know you Americans are like, what are you talking about? It's basically a state in Canada. You can buy a plot of land to build your house with only $1,000 deposit, and you get reimbursed $950. Now, the reason why they're doing this is because, yes, it is very attainable to only put down $1,000 to build a house, but it's just enough to keep out the homeless grifters and all the time wasters as well that have no intention in actually building a house. Now, this is what we need to start seeing more of in Canada and the US as well, but Canada has a very serious housing crisis because we just don't have the supply, but most importantly, and things nobody is really talking about, all the red tape and regulation and fees and development charges that go into building a house in Canada, it's crazy. I can tell you as a Canadian investor now investing in the US, it is so much easier and so much less costly to build a house in, say, Florida, Texas, Tennessee. There's less red tape, less regulations, things cost less, they move faster. Basically, there is more capitalism, not less. And that is why the housing market in the US, yeah, is kind of in a housing crisis, sure, but not even close compared to Canada. Now, unless you want to live in the middle of nowhere in some little country town, this is a great first step in making building more affordable in major cities, starting with Manitoba, which, dude, nobody cares about Manitoba. Let's bring this to Ontario and BC. Less regulation, less money down, permits move faster, let's go. That is what's actually going to help solve the housing crisis. We need more supply, but it takes so goddamn long to build something, so much red tape. Investors and builders are saying, no thanks, I'm just going to go build in the US. I'm going to go build over here. I am not building in Canada. Stack on top of that high interest rates, a pending dooming recession just ahead. Dude, nobody's building, but people still want to buy. People still have to rent a home, but there's nothing to rent or buy. The next thing you can do to get into the housing market for less money down and actually start building wealth and kind of have a home for free is called house hacking. This is a growing and kind of mainstream strategy now. It's cool now, but I wish I would have known about this back in 2010, 2012, when we were buying our first primary residence. And that is, instead of buying your detached house that you really, really want with your wife or partner, maybe for now, you kind of suck it up a bit and you buy a duplex or a triplex or a fourplex and you live in one of the units and rent out the others. And hopefully all of that extra income will pay for all of the mortgage or most of it, and maybe even cash flow and make you money. So you're essentially living in your primary home for free. This is the new rich for millennials and especially Gen Z. It's having time freedom and not having financial stress looming over our head like our parents did. You get to chill out and relax a little bit because your primary home expenses, your mortgage, your property taxes, your utilities maybe, are all covered by the other tenants. You're living for free. So now, if you're smart, you're going to invest that money, hopefully in more real estate, or if you can't afford that right now, at least in the stock market like the S&P 500, maybe also a little bit of Bitcoin. This is the new path for younger millennials and Gen Z especially, or maybe anybody else who wants to downsize your life and start taking control of where your life is headed rather than just working for the man, dude, paying taxes until you die, living in a shitty house, paying for your car payment and nothing else. Dude, that life is awful. Now, the third concept I want to talk about is just renting. But Matt, this video is about creating wealth. What are you talking about renting? Yeah, our society hates renters. I get it, but listen to this. See, I still want you to invest in real estate, but maybe not in the city you're living. Maybe you're living in a major city. Maybe you're living in Boston, in Miami, in New York, in Toronto if you're in Canada. These major cities have super expensive real estate, and unless you're making $250 grand a year or more, it's gonna be really tough to own a home and have a life and not just be tied to paying down your debts and getting nowhere. So maybe if you live in those cities, that's where your job is, that's where your family is, I get it, that's where you want to stay, don't own there. Maybe you just rent, and then you take the rest of your money and you buy real estate as an owner, as a landlord in cheaper markets. Maybe something like Memphis, Tennessee, Nashville, Tennessee, Atlanta, Georgia, where real estate is way cheaper and actually cash flows and make you money. I get you can't just move there. Your job is where you live, your family is, I get it. But that doesn't mean we don't stop buying real estate for investing purposes. We all know that the majority of people get super wealthy due to real estate if you hold it for the long term. If you hold a great quality property in a great city that has all the economic fundamentals we always talk about, like GDP growth, job growth, population growth, rental demand, if you hold real estate there for 5 years or more, you're bound to create some wealth for yourself. For example, the properties we're buying with partners just outside of Houston in a town called Katy, we're buying properties around $180,000. Now this is 20 minutes, half an hour from the major city, Houston, that has a diverse industry of jobs. Financial, manufacturing, construction, that city's insane. But just outside of that city, real estate is cheap. It looks like Pleasantville, white picket fence, super nice area. And the rents are about $1,600, $1,800 a month, depending on the house. So we're cash flowing anywhere between $200 to $400 a month easily on a house that cost $180,000. Yeah, try and find a house that cheap in Brooklyn, San Jose, Los Angeles. It's just never going to happen. So if you want to live in those cities, I totally get it, but invest in other areas. But Matt, rent is just as expensive as owning a home, even more expensive. What do you mean? I don't have any money left over to just go buy a house in Memphis, Tennessee. But here's the thing, rent can sometimes be more expensive than owning a home. Yeah, I get it. But you're forgetting about all the other costs that nobody really talks about in these cool, fancy TikTok breakdowns. See, when you own a home, there's always things to fix. The roof is going to break, the furnace is going to break. You want to keep up with the Joneses, so you're going to replace the countertops, replace the kitchen. The lawn maintenance, you're going to spend money on grass seed and fertilizer because you care. See, all of those little things really add up. I mean, a furnace and AC replacement can be anywhere from $5,000 to $8,000. A new roof, here in Florida, at the house we live in, we had to put it on a steel roof. That was $22,000. All of these things add up, and you don't have to spend a penny of that on a rental. So you will inevitably, yes, save a lot of money by renting. Not a popular thing for a real estate investor, especially a realtor, for me to say, but you will get ahead by renting. If, and a strong if you're investing in other assets like other real estate properties. If you don't do any of that, you're going to go broke. And the homeowner who, yes, has to replace the roof and the furnace will beat you in their wealth in time. And last but not least, the fourth reason on how you can own homes for $0, my most favorite strategy, the one I do pretty much on a daily basis, is joint ventures. This is the only way for a sophisticated real estate investor to continue growing their portfolio and buying more houses. See, the mistake a lot of amateur investors make is thinking, I don't want partners. And this is exactly what I did when I started off investing. I'm super introverted, believe it or not. I know what I'm doing. I'm a carpenter by trade. Like, I know everything to do with a house. I know how to build it, renovate it. I know how to look for cash flow. Dude, I got it, dude. That's how I acted when I was 22 years old, when I bought my first 2 properties with all of my money, and that was it. I had no more left. Could not qualify for the next mortgage. Impossible. Now, I kept going to all these seminars and conferences, trying to learn more, trying to meet other investors, and everybody on stage kept saying the same things. You got to become a joint venture magnate. You need other people to bring the money to the deal. You're the expert. You bring the knowledge. You run the deal. And then when you sell it, you split 50-50. And I was like, no, I ain't doing it. I don't want to work with other people. Until 2 years, 3 years went by and I bought nothing. And I realized, hey man, I'm pretty much a fake fraud real estate investor. I mean, I'm looking at realtor.com every single day. I'm looking for deals. I'm talking to investors. I'm going to all these conferences, but I haven't bought shit in a long time. And that's when it hit me. Okay, maybe I got to explore this option of joint venturing with people. So as a broke 23, 24-year-old, I had no money for marketing. What was I going to do? But I was young. This was back in like 2012, and social media was just kind of becoming a thing. Online marketing was just becoming a thing. So I was like, well, dude, this is free. I can't compete with everybody else. So I'm just going to shoot videos about my knowledge, about what I'm doing in my local area, how to invest in real estate. And because I have a carpentry background, I was making videos predominantly about renovations, how to get the highest rent, how to cash flow, how to pick the best tenants, all these easy things. And I made all these videos mainly to build my real estate agent business because I did not want to be a contractor anymore. And I got a lot of clients from those videos, but what ended up happening eventually when I had a lot of videos out and it was clear I was the specialist expert in this town about buying single family properties. People were watching my videos and were like, Matt, I don't want to just be your client as a realtor. Fuck that. You know exactly what you're talking about, dude. I just want to partner with you. What if I bring the money? I don't want to do shit. I'm like 45 years old. I got kids. I got life going on. I'll bring the money. You run the deal and we'll split the money 50-50 when we sell it in 5 years. And I was like, seriously? It's that easy? Sure. I did 1 deal, 2 deals, 4 partners, 8 partners. Then I was like, this crazy. This is definitely a thing. So I quadrupled down on the videos, on the social media, Instagram, Twitter, especially back then. And I kept getting more and more and more partners. And that's how I bought 150 properties with none of my own money, making me a self-made multimillionaire. With none of my own money. I just became an expert and shouted out to the world, telling everybody what I know, what I've done. Here's the results. I renovated this house. There's the before, there's the after. Check it out. What do you think? And I got all these partners. And that's what I teach the most across all my social media and especially in my course, Unlimited Cash. Check out the pinned comment below and I'll send you the guides and get you started. But that course is going to teach you everything on how to become a social media master for real estate investors specifically. It's my best-selling course and it teaches you everything. So those are the 4 ways on how you can own real estate essentially with none of your own money. If you like this video, hit the subscribe button, hit the like button. I will see you in the next video.